I was born and raised in Los Angeles by a single mother who was an immigrant from Mexico. She'd actually recently immigrated when I was born, and by my grandmother, who was like a second mom to me. There were a lot of us at that time because everyone kind of came over at the same time. There were about 8 of us in a 3-bedroom. So we had a lot of love, but not a lot of resources. And it was definitely some struggles, but we all got through it together. My grandmother was a saint. She taught me everything about faith and family and community and most importantly, service. Every morning she would take me to school, and on the way to school there was a homeless man who stood on the corner across from our church. And we would go every single morning, she would take me to go bring him coffee. And so she just started very young, kind of instilling this value in me that when you're on your way to live your life, you're always stopping along the way and making sure that you find ways to touch other people. And that ripples through my life to this day. My grandmother had felt a lump in her breast and didn't tell anybody because she didn't have health insurance and she didn't want to burden my family to go out of pocket in order to pay for a mammogram. So she just didn't say anything, and it kept growing and growing, and by the time she told someone in my family, it was too late, and she actually died very soon after. As anyone who's watched a very close person to them kind of go through a very rapid decline like that physically, it's really heart-wrenching, really, really heart-wrenching, and devastated my family completely. And we didn't realize that my mom was next, and then my 2 aunts were next, and then me. In 2013, I first heard of the BRCA gene mutation, more commonly known as the breast cancer gene. I thought, okay, maybe this is the answer to what's going on in my family. And so I actually went and asked for a test from my doctor. And when I came back positive, I actually wasn't that surprised because I felt it in my gut. My decision to have a double mastectomy was very easy for me. In one surgery, I could reduce my risk from 85% to under 3%. Now that's a very personal decision, and so I in no way think that's the right decision for everyone. But for me, I knew that I wanted to feel like I had done everything that I could. And so that's another reason why what ended up happening was such a validation of that choice. Because 6 days after my mastectomy, I got a call from my doctor, and when they tested my tissue, they realized that I already had breast cancer. So because I had done the surgery I did and the timing that I did, I essentially beat cancer before I knew I had it and didn't have to do any further treatment after that. I feel so completely grateful about feeling empowered through that decision. I knew when I was going through this experience, because of my grandmother's experience and also just because of understanding in my community the disparities in healthcare, that this needed to be bigger than me. So I founded the Well Woman Coalition, which is an initiative to empower women of color to have agency over their own health and healing. And I launched this literally from my hospital bed. My message is about the importance of being the CEO of your own body. I really want to raise awareness around genetic testing being this potentially proactive, empowering tool, because that is what it's been for so many women that I know and for myself. By sharing your vulnerability, it's actually making everyone feel less alone. So this day I've connected with thousands of women who are all at different points of this journey. And so that community was really important to me. And then I think back to my grandmother's experience and how different that was. So I hope that she's finding some peace and comfort in seeing how far we've come in just a couple generations. We know our bodies as women more than anyone. We know when something feels off. We know when something feels right. And trusting that and honoring that is one of the most important things that we can cultivate as women, and it's been honestly one of the biggest teaching moments of my life.